Hi, this is Richard Burdick, and today I'm advertising one of my CDs. Tomorrow I'm going to get around to getting a recording done of one of these trios. My CD, I believe it's CD number 35 from I Ching Music, 22 Trios for horns, Opus 156. This is a work of 22 movements, obviously 22 trios, that I wrote back in 2012. It's copyright 2013. This is a set of trios that I used the I Ching scales, my I Ching scales, but I used pairs of scales. Each trio has an intermixing of two different scales. We don't need to get into the theory of that. And it's available on cdbaby.com. You can listen to selections of a little bit of each trio, and actually on CD Baby you can probably search for my name, Richard Oscar Burdick, and listen to about a day's worth of French horn music of various kinds, from natural horn to micro-tuned and all sorts of stuff. So first of all, I wanted to show you the various sets of CDs I have based on the I Ching. My CD number 2, I Ching Arpeggios Opus 99, is where the French horn is playing an arpeggio based on the I Ching, and I have a set of wind chimes, from big to little, all tuned to this particular scale of each track, and it's been described as excellent for massage therapy background and that sort of thing. So CD2 is a set of 64 pieces I Ching Arpeggios. And then I have CD number 23, more than 64 solos for horn, Opus 139. I think there's 67 solos, and these are fun. Excellent sight reading for the advanced horn player if you want to find the sheet music. That's the solos. 64 duets, Opus 132. That's the duets for two horns. Probably my favorite in the group is more than 64 quartets for horn based on the I Ching, Opus 178. And yes, on the back, there's 68 tracks to this one. An average of about, there's some that are 4 minutes long and there's some that are really short. So I bet it's an average of about 1 minute and 20 seconds per track, because it has to fit on 2 CDs. So maybe they're longer than that. Opus 178, more than 64 quartets. And the weird one, because for a while I was working on the micro-tuning versions of the scales, and this is dated, do I have a date? CD28, Waves and Particles, Volume 1. I never did particle. I have a recording, so someday maybe I'll release the Particles recording, but it's super weird, and I think I've sold a few copies. The tuning is based on the 64 harmonics in the 7th octave, yes. But today, 22 Trios for horn, Opus 156. The titles are Start of the Renaissance, Inaugural Flow, Expansion, Glimmer, Forest Light, Hunter's Echo, Swamp, Cauldron, which is one of the names of the I Ching, Waltz. That was written when I was working with Gregory Voida in Music of the Nuns. In the arcade, that was written at the arcade when my boys were playing there. Scriabin, I love Scriabin. Legend, Fugue, Intermezzo, Awakening, Merry-Go-Round, which is what the picture is here on the cover, is the kind of merry-go-round I played with when I was a kid. And I photoshopped it so that it has the colors of the rainbow on the floor of the merry-go-round. And Mio, that's the one I'm going to record tomorrow, so watch for that. Trio, I'll play the first horn part and pre-record the second and third parts. So I'll have a live performance on YouTube of Trio Opus 156 number 19. It's titled Mio, of course, for Darius Mio, who I never met, but I was nearby. Gargoyle, that's the one that the Electrum Brass Trio played a whole bunch of times in a version for horn, trombone, tuba. Flows and more to come, which probably more to come. And the text to the CD. Abstract is not the word to describe this set of trios. It fits into the style of music that I call expressionistic. It's generally highly caffeinated and seldom settles in a way one would expect. It bounces around in captivating ways with unusual twists and turns. The dissonances are more like rocks in the river, where they are part of the whole picture. Without the rocks in the river wouldn't be as beautiful. I like the style of random dissonance and consonant. It seems very natural. I find these sound shapes intriguing and always come away singing a tune, which is true. I interweave melodies. I'm a fairly melodic composer, but interweave them randomly in some ways. These works represent a transition period in my compositional output. I love the American music of the mid-20th century in its neoclassicism and expressionism. I'm moving more towards a holistic tuning into vibration style of music, what for me is New Age music. So these trios written from 2009 to about 2011 are more a part of the 20th century than of the 21st century for me. When writing these trios, I set out to write trios in sets of 64 based on the I Ching scales. As I progressed, I started working with pairs of scales in each piece, and then I just abandoned making this an I Ching set altogether, abandoning the set of 64 trios and just finishing 22. On my website, I have some information about what scales were used, but the point here overall is that the music is freer from the limitation of scales. Richard Burdick, August 2013. So look for it on CD Baby and watch for my next video. Thanks for watching today.